Hello, I'm gonna do something a little different today. I'm gonna ramble over some gameplay footage. I've been playing UFC 3 pretty much since it came out, and off and on for the whole 2 years since. I love it, and but I'm not gonna talk about that. It's just gonna play in the background. But I will be uploading footage or videos of my gameplay. I already have one up with the Nick Diaz video. It's finishing motherfuckers in 1 round or less with Nick Diaz. Nick Diaz is one of my favorite all-time UFC fighters, and this is gonna be 2 fights in this video. I'm playing as Matt Hughes, and Matt Hughes is another one of my all-time favorites. But I'll be uploading videos like this occasionally where I just talk. This one I'm gonna talk about like I guess what I'm just my plans for the future. I don't know with this channel and in general. I've had several false starts with this YouTube channel. I've been sporadically active for, I don't know, maybe, I would have to look now, more than like 8 years. But I'm going to try to stick with it this time, and this will be one of the types of videos I'll make. And I have other games that I'll play in the background. I've been playing this, and since we're talking about UFC, and then we're going to move on, I signed up for the UFC 4 beta, so I'm gonna capture some footage of me playing that. I don't know when it starts. They said they're gonna send me a link in an email, and then I sign up or whatever. I don't know how it works. I've never done that before. But you'll get to see my mediocre UFC skills in UFC 4 before anybody else. I've been messing around with Streets of Rage 4, which is I love it. It looks awesome, and it's fun. It's a throwback to the old beat 'em ups of the '90s, the arcade beat 'em ups, and got ported to the consoles. But I'll have a video like this. I'm gonna play over some of that, and maybe this game for Embrace I've been looking at. That was on Game Pass. Game Pass is pretty awesome. But enough about that. The reason I wanted to get more active on my YouTube is because I wanted to have more of a social media presence, because I'm gonna get serious. This channel started out as a comic book channel, and I'm not gonna stray because I love comic books. I always have. Even the comic book industry is in shambles at the moment, partially due to COVID, mostly due to inept decision making at the higher levels. And at the hiring level, I should say, they're just hiring idiots who can't write and don't even care about comic books, and they're turning out shitty comic books, and nobody's buying them. But I am gonna write a comic book. Well, I am writing a comic book, and That's why I wanted a larger social media presence, and hopefully before the summer's over, start a crowdfunding campaign for it, and see what happens. I mean, ain't nothing to it but to do it. This is something I've been planning on doing for over a decade. I've been writing personally, just for personal enjoyment, with aspirations, perhaps, of being a screenwriter. I mostly write screenplays, but I also write short stories and stuff like that. But I'm obsessed with movies. Are my passion. Well, not get into movies, that's kind of a thing of the past now. You don't really get into movies now. If I could just start making movies, that would be awesome. But I love comic books too, and I think I have a pretty good idea for a comic book. If I can find an artist, if anybody's watching this and they know an artist and they would like to hook me up with, and we could see if we're compatible, that would be cool. Or if any artists are watching, that's cool too. I've been eyeballing some artists on Twitter, and I don't know. There's so many awesome artists on Twitter, but they're all busy. I mean, if you're a good artist, I mean, you have work. So I don't really know how writers with no credits team up with artists. And well, let me start that over. I don't know how writers with no artists or capital to pay. Did I say right? Yeah, writers without artists or capital can get artists to work with them on comic books. That whatever, I don't know, but that's crowdfunding. Oh my God, it's ingenious. But yeah, I would. I guess my plan right now is to write. I'm working on the outline tonight. I'm pretty much done the outline for the comic, and I have the character bios I'm working on next. I have like half of the character bios done, and I have a few pages of script. And I just have to keep pushing. But I don't know. I have so many projects in my head that I get overwhelmed. I have a lot of plans for this channel. The next video, I hate putting stuff out there, but like if you put it out there, then you have to do it right. I'm gonna start a series. Now we're getting way off of the writing. I might come back to the writing. Oh, writing is writing and movies are my passion. Comic books, maybe second. Well, no, maybe video games. I don't know. I love video games. But yeah, speaking of the video games, I was gonna move on to like this YouTube channel. There were a series I was gonna start. I'm a crazy obsessed Nintendo fan. I've been playing Nintendo consoles since 1989. I think I got the NES with the orange zapper, the '89 zapper, and my favorite weapon in Splatoon 2, and Mario Brothers and Duck Hunt and all that good stuff. I never got Rob the Robot. I think that was the first set, but I think it only was compatible with one game, so I guess I didn't miss out. I had the '89 version, and I have not looked back since. But I mean, with the series that I'm gonna do, it's gonna be shorter videos. Maybe I always plan my video. This video is gonna be 5 minutes, and then it's 10 minutes. This video is gonna be 10 minutes, and then it's 20 minutes. So I'm gonna say 5 to 10 minute videos. The title of the series is gonna be "The Crazy Genius of Nintendo," and I'm just gonna focus on weird decisions they made that just like worked out spectacularly. But I think that's why I like Nintendo, and I'm going to talk about that probably in the first video, where they're risk takers, and I love risk takers because I mean, without risk, there's no reward. And another phrase I don't know where it comes from, was like if it's not hard, it's not worth doing. I love those phrases, and Nintendo exemplifies that. I'll talk about that in that series. I hope to get the first video up this weekend. I'm gonna try to also keep my weekly comic book, my comic of the week videos that I've been doing once a month. I'm gonna try to keep those weekly. I have the next 2 weeks comics picked out. I'm gonna record both of those this weekend, so then I'll just have 2 weeks in the bag, and then go from there. And then I love horror movies. I've done 2 horror movie reviews that I'm like super proud of. Like the editing's pretty bad and the sound quality. I hate the way my voice sounds, and I don't really have good equipment. I'm recording this on my cell phone. I don't have like a mic or anything like that. But I like the way it sounds on my phone. It sounds okay. I don't like when I use my camera. Oof. I hate the audio on the camera when I do the comic. Well, yeah, whatever. That's neither here nor there. I had the 2 horror reviews. The first one I did was Frogs. The horror movie Frogs. You should go back and watch it. I might put links in the. I should just put links to like every video I ever did that I'm proud of in the description. I really like that one. Frogs is a weird movie, and the other one I did was a movie Disconnected. Another peculiar movie, more peculiar than Frogs. And up next, which I guess after this weekend, I'm gonna do a Nintendo video this weekend. So over the course of the next weekend, I'm gonna try to finish my next horror movie review, and those are only like 15-20 minutes long. And that I've been talking about it on Twitter a little bit. It's gonna be the movie The Suckling from 1990, I think. Sneak preview of the title. It's gonna be called "The Suckling is the best anti-abortion movie ever made." And that's on. Stay tuned. And then I have ideas for. I just have ideas for days. That's why it's just so hard to sit down and do stuff. That's why I had to focus on the comic, which is I'm focusing on writing the comic now, and focusing on videos. I want to get one video a week, like the video in 1 week, the horror movie review in a week, but then I want to have the weekly comic book reviews or my comic picks or whatever, comic of the week. There you go. a week, and then so I guess 2 videos a week, and then sporadically have a video like this where I just talk, and then but it can't always be about the channel. It'll just be about whatever's going on. There's so much going on, but I don't think I'm gonna make this channel political. Even though I do get political on Twitter. If you follow me, if you've come here from Twitter, I think a few people have come over from Twitter. I do get political on Twitter, but I try to keep silly with it. I don't know. I have opinions about everything, and while I say I'm apolitical, is why I don't like to get involved in politics. I care deeply about what happens in the world. I have a daughter, so I don't want the world to go to shit. I don't want America to become a socialist country and all that. So, but yeah, that's enough of that. But yeah, like I mentioned, I'm obsessed with film. I want to have ideas for the like deeper analysis of film because I want to do the horror. I love horror movies. If it's everybody thinks I'm a film snob because I'm just like critical of film. Like most people just watch film as entertainment. To me, film is art. It's not. It's like everybody. Most people like you go to the movies, you get your popcorn, you sit down, and you turn your brain off. I sit down and I watch a movie and I turn my brain up. I turn my senses up and I'm watching everything and I'm seeing what the director did. I'm seeing how the plot is structured. I'm seeing if the characters act consistently throughout, if they have proper motivations. I'm just analyzing like shot composition and I just love movies and I love that about it. And but movies suck now because it just made for people who want to turn their brain off and disappear for a couple hours. But so I wanted to have a film series where I would go deeper into better films than BR movies, like I said. But I'm not critical of horror movies because they're horror. I'll come back to that. But I wanted to do videos. I want to have a video planned for Blade Runner, which is a movie that has confounded me for years because I both like it and don't. No, I guess I should say I respect it, but don't like it. Like it's incredibly well made. It has an awesome atmosphere, but the story and the characters are pointless. I love the cyberpunk aspect. I love the direction and cinematography, but that, but yeah. Then I go back to the story. The video I want to make is going to be called Blade Runner: A Study in Style Over Substance, and how the style of that movie carries it because it's basically a film noir based off of like the 40s era film noir, 30s, 40s, 50s stuff like I don't know, Double Indemnity, the Maltese Falcon, The Third Man, stuff like that. But the good thing about those movies and why they're so awesome is because they have these awesome, intricate plots that twist and turn, and the good guy. There's no good guys or bad guys. And everybody, it's just like shades of gray, and everybody has to compromise themselves in order to achieve their ends. And those movies are awesome because the characters are more realistic than characters. They're less archetypes and more real. I mean, but they're still movie characters. But uh, that's what it's like based off of. But then it just takes all of that out and focuses solely on the style. And those movies had good style too. You had the black and white and just the awesome cinematography in those movies. But Blade Runner just turned that aspect up to like 1,000, and then turned the story down to like 2. So it's like I can watch it and appreciate it, and I can see how it inspired so. Like, I mean, I always like I don't know. I don't want to like talk about what I'm going to talk about in the video, but it, yeah. So stay tuned for that. Who knows when that's going to come out? That's going to take some time. I wanted another movie. 2001: A Space Odyssey is my favorite movie of all time. I don't want to say it's perfect because I've never seen a perfect movie. If I had to give a movie a 10 out of 10, it would be 2001: A Space Odyssey. But I mean, it's like a 9.8 out of 10. And I wanted to do a video about that. And now I have the title, isn't it? 2001: A Study in Film Perfection or whatever. And I actually want to do an entire series. I want to do like a YouTube documentary about Stanley Kubrick's life because he's my favorite filmmaker. But that's that's if that happens, that's way down the road. But I'm getting towards the end because I know I only have these two fights that I was gonna play. I think they're like almost 20 minutes, and I'm getting close. So I'm gonna start wrapping up now. If you've watched this far, thanks. I appreciate that greatly. I would appreciate that thumbs up. I would appreciate anybody who subscribes. Comment down below in the comments, and I will respond to the comments. I only have like what 45 followers now. I wish I could remember his name. I'm gonna go check. Yeah, at this good dude at SoCal Chemistry over on Twitter. He's my 45th subscriber on YouTube. He's awesome over on Twitter. I like and respond and retweet a bunch of his shit. He's in the writing community. He's cool. Thanks for subscribing. You get the shout out. But yeah, I'm out of time. If there's any time left, I'll just turn the volume up on the fights. Enjoy me whipping this guy's ass. Well, I fought this guy twice in a row. I said I was going to come back to something if I listen to the audio and feel like doing it, I'll add it back at the end. Okay. I feel like doing it. I was talking about horror movies and how I'm less critical of horror movies, but that wasn't accurate, I guess, which this is probably going to roll into my next video. I judge horror movies based on the fact that they're horror movies and based on what they're trying to do. They're not, with rare exceptions, like The Shining or A Tale of Two Sisters, they're not high art. It's entertainment. It's a more visceral, a more emotional experience than other movies to me. I mean, I guess movies are more emotional in general, but I look at them more intellectually. I analyze them more than just let it wash over me. With horror movies, I just let it wash over me because you're watching the special effects, and that's technical, but it's more just like, wow, that's cool. And you're watching the gore, and it's like, that's technical, but like, oh, wow, that's cool. And it's just like the feeling. Like if it generates suspense, it's successful to me. If it I don't jump scares is a bullshit. That doesn't count. But if it makes you feel the way that it's trying to make you feel, then that's it, for me. A horror movie is successful. So I can't say that I'm less critical of horror movies. I just judge them based on their own merits. I'm not gonna, and I'm more. I think comedy may be another genre I'm like that. If it makes me laugh, cool. But take it easy. I think I'm out of time.
And now, whoa! Oh, that one dropped him! Oh! Boom! Wow. It's over. Wow! What power that guy has in his hands.